Welcome to my GIS portfolio video series. My name is Robert Sacco, and since all of my GIS database administration and web development work occurs behind a firewall, I thought I would create this video series to display examples of my work. This video is intended to display the work I have done designing, developing, and maintaining a GIS unit intranet presence to communicate important aspects of our enterprise GIS system, as well as other work we are doing within the agency. These pages were developed in Visual Basic ASP.NET using Visual Studio. And the reason I decided to develop these pages was realizing the ineffectiveness and currency of other methods of communication, including quarterly newsletters and emails. And this just seemed like the way to go to quickly be able to post the most relevant information on our systems to the end users. And so as you come into our pages, we have a home page and we have posted what we call hot topics, and this is where we're posting what the most current and relevant information is and announcements that we want to communicate to end users. And as you can see, this includes an announcement for an internal review for a fishing atlas, which is a Flex API web application that's intended to assist anglers in finding new fishing locations. And also on the page we have posted errors and problems that we've encountered with the software and connections to the ArcSTE database, and we're able to quickly post solutions to those issues that end users are encountering, so that other users can view these errors and quickly find solutions if they encounter these errors. We also use this for announcements for posting new releases of software and providing links on how to make those installations. So here's, again, and then it takes you to a page that further details the information on installing ArcGIS version 10.1, as well as various service packs. So service packs for the previous version, as well as new version installation and service pack, and information on how to update your existing SDE connections. And again, just a repeat of some of the errors on making those connections and the step-by-step instructions for correcting those issues. So this, as you can see, provides an easy way that users can quickly access that type of information. Also on our home page, we just have a little bit about the GIS unit itself, mission statement, and quick links to some of the pages that have the most relevant information that people may want to get to quickly, and contact information for the GIS unit staff, links to emails and phone numbers. So in addition to the home page, we also have several data pages. This one is a general data page that describes our internal ArcSTE data, as well as providing links to a spreadsheet of a listing of all the data that's held in those databases and a brief description of each data set, as well as a quarterly report that documents the edits that have gone on with the data that the agency manages and maintains. And then there are links to external sources for background data, such as topographic and aerial imagery data, county parcel, and external sources of data, including how to connect to various web services with data that end users may need to access. In addition, we have a data observation page. This is a page that's intended to describe the process by which we collect scientific collection permits from external agencies or universities, or anybody doing wildlife studies has to put in a permit, and with that permit they have to submit the locations that they have collected wildlife specimens. And In addition to that, we have combined that data along with the observations that have been made by staff to create a layer that allows staff to search a species and see where it's been observed in the state. So this is just a quick page to describe that process and how that data can be submitted to add those data to that layer. Other data pages we have include a detailed page on the SDE data describing what it is and steps for making the connections, including requesting access, installing the software, and once the software is installed, how to make connections to our data. And again, repeated links to reference lists and reports on what data has been edited over the past 3 months. And then again, just links to other important external sources of data and instructions on how to connect to those data. Other data pages we have are protocols for distributing sensitive data, and then the species data inventory will be highlighted in another video in this series, as it's a full application for helping end users search for various GIS data that's been collected within the agency or other sources that may be of importance. And again, just links to those various pages for connecting to external sources of data. And here I'll just quick some of the instructions on and links to the various other ways of accessing background information. Again, we have a map page, and this page has some information on, for end users to be able to put a disclaimer on their maps. And then we have, for kind of first-time users of GIS or folks not well-versed in cartographic principles, some just basic information on map design principles and ideas for what should go onto a map. In addition, we have a print map page, and this has links to PDF documents for maps that can be printed out by agency staff for administrative boundaries that are updated each year, as well as office location maps and phone numbers, and a Colorado County map. We've also used the Intranet page as a spot where we could highlight and provide a location to launch our web mapping applications. These are applications that have been developed in both the Flex and JavaScript API, and this page provides a brief description of that application, who the intended audience is, why it was developed, and provides a quick thumbnail, which also has a link to launch that application. And I will be doing some additional videos on this, demonstrating the work I've done developing in both the Flex and JavaScript APIs to create web mapping applications. We have some pages for GIS resources, including a training page, which has, again, links to course outlines and information on who to contact for requesting training, as well as listings, scheduling, locations, and dates. And we've recently begun working with creating and developing training videos on some of the most commonly requested how-tos from our end users, and so we can post a video here and capture how to perform certain tasks within the GIS, and we're hoping to add to that. But the Intranet page allows us to again post that information and allow staff to easily access it. We also, here's just information on a GPS to GIS course and some other GPS training. And as we come across it, we also post links to external sources of training for users wanting to getting started with GIS. In addition to the training page, we have a how-to page, so some of the most commonly asked questions that we've received we're able to post here, and then people can access that information here. And I think we found that we've dramatically reduced the number of calls we get by being able to post some of the more common questions that we've received on how to do things within the GIS system. So as you can see, just various topics and links to instructions on how to perform functions within the GIS system that may be of interest to our end users. So those, and we also have a GPS page that kind of describes some of the recreation and higher end GPSs and information on applications that allow the transfer of data between GPS units and the GIS software. And again, so information on Garmins and Trimbles and the various software and utilities that end users may want to use to perform the tasks and collecting data that way. We have some project pages, some information on some of the work that we're doing within the agency, just to familiarize folks with the work that we do. And parcel lease is for the State Land Board and BLM conducting oil and gas lease sales. We're required to provide commentary on that, and then this is just information on dates that those are occurring and links to the data and end products of those analysis for that commentary. So this has been worthwhile for staff working on those issues to be able to access. And then finally, I'll just quickly mention that the state has moved to the Gmail, email, and calendaring system, and this enabled me to quickly embed a calendar for the GIS unit, and we can quickly post relevant information, times and dates of mapping sessions and other related GIS events we can post to this calendar and make accessible to all staff. So I hope you've enjoyed that. This has just been a quick tour of some intranet pages I've developed and for communicating information on our GIS enterprise system and other related information to end users. And this has been a huge time savings and more effective way of communicating that information. I'm intending on creating more videos in this series, and I hope you'll come back and watch. Thanks.